Hi everyone, it's Al Nigrin again, Executive Director and Curator of the New Jersey Film Festival, here to do the third and final of our filmmaker interviews for the Spring 2019 New Jersey Film Festival. As you've probably been following us over the years, we try to promote the local New Jersey and New York area filmmakers that are part of our festival. And today we have a very talented young man named Andrew Nee.
Hello.
He's the director of a very interesting documentary called The Shepherd Sings a Song, which is about the state of local newspapers
Yes.
in central New Jersey.
That's correct, yes.
So Andrew, how did you get involved in making this film?
Well, in choosing the film, I've always been interested in, one of my idiosyncrasies, I guess you could say, is that I've always read local papers. I know a lot of my friends don't really do that often. So really when choosing to make a film, one of the ideas I like to do is I like to choose a topic that's not very common. It's like something, I like to bring light to something that perhaps isn't, by itself the most exciting. So newspapers by themselves, people tend to overlook things like that, especially local journalism, which I find surprising.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it's not really an exciting topic. So I really wanted to make a film to really bring attention to something that...
I think it's very exciting. I think you're selling yourself short, because I grew up with newspapers, and a lot of my generation kind of got their primary information from them, and it's very sad to see newspapers really on the decline because of the internet and new technology. And that's basically the subject of your film, right? I mean, you have 4 parts. It's very, very well crafted. You have a very beautiful musical score to accompany a lot of the interviews. Tell us some of the people that you interviewed in the newspapers you focused on.
So the newspapers I focused on were mostly in the central Jersey area. So, it's a really long process to contact everyone, to get everyone involved in this process.
Yeah.
But the thing about the newspapers is that they're very excited to be part of it. They were very supportive in this.
Yeah.
So really, mostly the Central Jersey newspapers, Town Topics of Princeton, the Princeton Packet,
Princeton paper,
Montgomery News, US 1, and there were other people who weren't really part of. They weren't even journalists themselves. For example, I wanted to get a politician's view on the state of local journalism, because
you did a magical job. I mean, you had a lot of work involved. Was this a project for school? You're a high school student.
Yes, I am.
Which I didn't know. That shows you how great your film is, because it really seemed like it was very mature and very accomplished and very well thought out, very well researched as well.
Well, yeah, it was a high school. Well, I always had wanted to make a project on, as I said, one of my idiosyncratic ideas, just such as newspapers. But I think the impetus for me actually starting it now was in November 2017, our school asked us to apply for a grant. So if you have any, well, it was for a research project. So it had to be a documentary of some sort if I was going to go in the film direction. So I said, well, this is the perfect opportunity to, obviously I could make this by myself, or I could do it with all the resources that my school can provide for me. So I really jumped on the opportunity, and so I applied for the grant.
And you got the grant.
I did.
That's wonderful. So, so the film is about Central Jersey newspapers.
Yes.
And we focus on the publishers, the politicians, and people that read them, correct? So what do you think the state of these papers are? I mean, did you get the sense that they were changing with the times, or that they were kind of stuck in the kind of old model?
I think that over the course of making this film, my idea of the state of local journalism really changed. So you can see at the beginning, just doing research. I went to the Princeton Public Library, did a lot of research, did a lot of database, just because it's a research project essentially. I had this idea that newspapers were struggling just because of economics, and that simply they could just move to the new big thing, which is the internet, and they'd all be fine. But it's really not that simple. The great thing is that as you make this film, you start to realize this is a very nuanced topic. So, for example, one of the things I realized, that you can't just go onto the internet, because, first of all, the internet isn't profitable. Just advertising dollars aren't there. And at the same time, the barriers of entry to internet publications are just so low. Anyone could really publish a adequate, not amazing, but adequate publication online. So the barriers of entry are so low, and if there's really no reason for someone to there's no motivation for someone to view a well-researched, piece of journalism.
I guess one of the arguments also is that in your documentary is that these newspapers no longer really go towards the political, and they have to kind of choose softball stories. And I got the sense from listening to some of the publishers that they regret having to go in that direction, but they did it out of necessity. Do you agree?
I think, there has been this trend among many newspapers which are reporting less on, political government. The government reporting has really gone down. There's almost no coverage of Trenton, state government at this point. If you look at many local newspapers, they're all talking about
they really don't, or they regurgitate what somebody else has written.
And pretty much everything that social media could give you. So there is a lack currently.
They have to find their niche, and that's what they're trying to do.
That is exactly what they're trying to do.
Well, it's been wonderful talking to you, Andrew, and congratulations on your film. It's really quite masterful. And folks, if you got to check out this wonderful double bill of documentary films that we'll be screening on Friday, February 8th in Voorhees 105, which is at 71 Hamilton Street on the Rutgers University campus, adjacent to the Zimmerli Art Museum. And we're a block from the New Brunswick train station. The Shepherd Sings a Song is the opening short documentary, followed by Janet Gardner's wonderful documentary on the Quakers. It's called Quakers, the Quiet Revolutionaries. And the great thing is that both Andrew and Janet are Princeton natives, so it's kind of Princeton double bill that evening, and it should be a lot of fun. So come and check us out. You need more information, go to our website, which is njfilmfest.com. Click on where it says Spring 2019 Schedule and work your way to the bottom of the page. Thanks so much for coming, Andrew, and thanks so much for watching, folks.
This is the fight of community journalism, an old, revered, and vital industry hobbled by time, evolving to a world of rapidly developing culture and technology. It's the fight of a threatened industry with no clear successor, the fight of businesses that have a societal obligation to stay in business, and the plight of us all where communities risk being lost to an ever-connected globe.